Hello again, and welcome to Academica Circular Conference. My name is Cristina Borca, and together with my colleague Crina, we will provide technical support for the webinars during this day. Our first guest for today is Mr. Jos Frijns. Thank you, Mr. Frijns, for accepting our invitation. I just want to check your microphone. If you can say something, just no. I guess your microphone is mute. Please check again your microphone.
Okay. Yes. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. I will start with a brief introduction about your activity. So, Mr. Frijns is the Resilience Management and Governance Team Leader at the KWR Water Research Institute. He is in charge of team content direction and profiling, coaching and professional development of the employees, and capacity planning and revenue. He is a senior researcher in water governance and future exploration. He works on sustainability themes such as water reuse and the water energy nexus, with the main focus on the organizational process, citizen participation, and strategy and knowledge development. Today, Mr. Frijns will present the details about NEXTGEN Water project. I just want to remind you that the presentation will last about 15 to 20 minutes. The question can be addressed in English or in Romanian. The answers will be provided, of course, in English. And Mr. Frijns, you are invited to start your presentation. We wish you good luck.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Good morning from the Netherlands. Looking forward to this second day of the Aqua Circular Conference. Yes, please, can you show my presentation? So this morning I will be introducing a very interesting European project called NEXTGEN. And later this morning we will have two additional presentations related to this project. Let me see. Yes, so this European project, NEXTGEN, is about demonstrating circular water solutions. What we are doing in this project is that we are not only demonstrating new technologies, but also innovative business models and governance solutions. And we do so by demonstrating this at 10 large-scale cases across Europe, as you can see on this graph. And very important, the third part of this project is maybe the most important, is that we focus on developing the approaches and tools to further transfer and upscale these circular water solutions. As we have seen yesterday already, there are quite a lot of good initiatives related to water in the circular economy, but the main challenge remains how to further transfer and upscale these initiatives. So it's a 4-year European project, and it will still last for 2 years. Now, of course, talking about water and the circular economy, it is important to look at water as a resource. So also in our project, we look at water itself. And you can think of possibilities for reuse of water, but also alternative sources for water, for example, rainwater. And obviously we look at resources within the water, like energy, either extracted through biogas or recovered heat from wastewater. And thirdly, we look at the recovery of nutrients and materials like nitrogen and phosphate. And since this is a project on the circular economy, what we try to establish is further linkages between the water sector and other sectors in the economy. And that's easier said than done, to be honest. But so we look at not only how can you recover water, energy, and nutrients, but also how can you link these resources to industry, to new urban developments, to the energy sector, and to agriculture. We take in this project an integrated approach. On the top left, you can see that we demonstrate the technologies, but also we assess these technologies. On the right side, you can see that we look at stakeholder engagement and citizens' involvement, but we also address the social and governance challenges related to this. And very important, on the left down corner, we look at new business models. It's about the circular economy and how to better communicate and connect. So, and central again in the project are the 10 demo cases. Now, why is this important to take this integrated approach? I think that is maybe the main challenge in going to circular water solutions, to take this integrated approach and also to connect to other sectors. So this requires that we not only look at technologies, which are good, demonstrated and innovative, reliable, but also whether these technologies are safe and sustainable. It's important to have proper engagement of stakeholders and social acceptance. We also need to look at the right governance arrangements and supportive regulations. And again, we have to develop new business arrangements. So I will look in these 4 conditions one by one in this presentation. Let's start with the technologies. So you can see here a list of technologies demonstrated at 5 of the demo cases. And of course, it's important that these technologies are demonstrated at large scale to show that these are feasible and reliable. So to start in Braunschweig, for example, we look at sludge hydrolysis and energy recovery. In Costa Brava in Spain, we use regenerated RO membranes for membrane filtration for water reuse. In the Westland region in the Netherlands, which is a horticulture area, we, for example, look at high temperature aquifer thermal energy storage. Later today, this morning, my colleague, my NEXTGEN partner, Anders, will present work done in Altenrhein, in Switzerland, on nutrients and material recovery. And finally, at the bottom in the Spurnal in the UK, you can see that we focus on anaerobic MBR systems. At the other 5 demo cases, La Trappe, which is a beer brewery in the Netherlands, we look at a plant root-based treatment facility for reuse of the wastewater of the beer factory to be reused, for example, for washing the bottles of the beer brewery. In Gotland, which is an island in Sweden, we look at rainwater harvesting. In Athens, I will explain a bit more in a few minutes. We look at sewer mining. In Filton Airfield, that's an old airfield in Filton, which is being developed in a new neighborhood, and we will demonstrate all kinds of circular water solutions for this new neighborhood. And finally, in Timișoara, Romania, our new demo case, we will look at sludge management and reuse. And after my presentation, our colleagues of Aquatim will present this new, very interesting demo case in Romania, where we will work together with Aquatim and also the business development group at recovery of byproducts and energy from sludge, and also feasibility study on the reuse of effluent. So you can hear more about this demo case in 20 minutes. I wanted to show one of the other demo cases, what we are doing there. This is the demo case in Athens, where we demonstrate a sewer mining modular unit. And the idea here is that we recover wastewater from the sewer to be used for an urban tree nursery. for urban green irrigation. Here on the top right, you can see a picture of the tree nursery, a green area, and it is green because it needs quite a lot of irrigation water, and that water comes from the sewer line. And at the same time, we also co-compost sludge and the green waste here. Now on the right side, you see you see a picture of the modular um, treatment unit, which is a membrane bioreactor followed by disinfection, where we can produce wastewater at the point of demand. Here you can see the configuration of that system in Athens. On the left side, on the bottom, you see the sewer pipeline. We extract sewage from that pipeline, goes to the MBR to be treated, and finally disinfected to be irrigated for the urban tree nursery. And at the same time, green waste and wood waste is co-composted to also be recovered and reused in the urban tree irrigation. This is a good example for all cities in Europe who have challenges related to climate change and limited water resources, where you can use wastewater as a source for urban green irrigation. Now, secondly, these technologies obviously need to be sustainable and safe. So we put quite a lot of emphasis in our project to develop tools and apply tools to show that indeed these technologies contribute to a more circular economy. So we do energy assessments, we do life cycle assessments. Very important, we look at the carbon footprint. At the same time, we also look at possible health risks related to, for example, reuse of water. So we look at microbiological and chemical risk assessment methodologies so that there's no accumulation of contaminants. And finally, we also model these technologies at system level. It's really important that you show sustainability improvement across the whole circular economy, and that you not only focus on your own sustainability improvement, but to have this at the system level. And for that, we apply a number of modeling tools. Now then, as you might know, really, really important is that you have proper engagement of all stakeholders involved from the start of your initiative. And we have developed a number of approaches to secure this stakeholder engagement. We work with communities of practice, and for the general public, we do outreach activities and use serious games and augmented reality applications. And a key element in this engagement approach is that we have to build trust. Not only trust within the technology or the reuse or whatever activity, but very much also trust in the involved organizations for both water industry and governmental organizations. So here you see the approach related to the communities of practice. So at every demo case, we organize a number of meetings with the stakeholders, starting from the left, looking at setting a common vision. Secondly, looking for opportunities to further close the loop. Thirdly, to look at implementation, but also possible social and governance challenges to relate to. And finally, how we can further upscale our initiatives. And within these communities of practice, the concept of social learning is central and very important, because we don't want just a meeting. We want to have actual consultation of all stakeholders, so that you have proper engagement and interaction, so that there's a possibility to change your issue frame, but also to have further awareness of your own roles and competences. Another really nice example is what we are developing is augmented reality as a way to visualize, to make visible to visitors, for example, the general public, what we are doing or what is happening behind black boxes. And this augmented reality app can show you on the spot what, for example, is being done at the sewer mining facility in Athens, where you can, through your phone, upload videos of what is happening there. But also we have put a simple quiz game in this facility to have further engagement of the general public. Yes, and the general public, the acceptance of our activities obviously is also key. And for this, we have done a survey in a number of countries. You see here the results of the survey in the UK and the Netherlands, where we ask questions related to whether people would be happy to use recycled water for drinking and would be happy to use food grown with recovered nutrients. And we know this from other research, but don't forget this. People are quite positive related to this. Like 2/3 to 3/4 of the people, they support recycled water for drinking purposes. And maybe even more important, only like 10-15% is opposed to these initiatives. And that acceptance is even a little bit higher for food grown from recovered nutrients. So if you are managed to have sufficient trust organized and proper information and engagement of the public, it can be done. Another important element we look for in this project, and which is needed to have successful circular water solutions, is that you have supportive governance. That means because we are working across scales and sectors, you have to look for hybrid governance structures which balance between both strict regulations for health, safety, and on the other hand, also supportive measures. And one of the latest supportive regulations comes from Brussels. This year, the minimum quality requirements for water reuse for agriculture has been accepted by the Commission. And these regulations, they set the standards and authorize these technologies. At the same time, they put a lot of strict monitoring requirements, which might hinder further water reuse initiatives. So through our project, we try to look how we can balance this, on one hand, having safe standards, and at the other hand, also having flexibility for reuse opportunities. And one of the key hindering factors at the moment is that recovered products are marked as waste products. And that makes it difficult for these recovered products to enter the market. You need an end of waste status, which takes a lot of effort to get. So we will organize meetings with the Commission to see how we can move on with having a more supportive governance towards a circular economy. Yes, and don't forget, it's about the circular economy. So we have to look at the economic elements and arrange new business arrangements. So that means that we have to not only look at what can we recover from water, but also what is the value added of our products for other sectors. And that means that we have to look at the specs for quality and quantity and assure that we can deliver. And it might be also that we have to focus on niche development, which with a bit higher market opportunity. This also means that we need to re-establish the cooperation between producers and consumers, where we look also at the creation of multiple values, not only looking at cost benefits, but societal cost benefits. And a key challenge here is that within the collaboration with other sectors, we have to look at a good distribution of risks. And within NEXTGEN, we are developing a number of startups. One of these startups is visualized on the right side. where we look at the opportunities of a model developed in the Netherlands by a business company, Aqua Minerals, where they recover calcite from drinking water production and make this in pure calcite pellets. And this model could also be of interest, for example, to the water sector in France. As it is a circular economy project, we are also developing an online marketplace. At this online marketplace, we put all our technologies from NextGen, but also from other projects. And people interested, the market, could search in this marketplace for these new technologies. They could arrange meetings and look for sellers. Well, this will be an online, let's say, an online database, but we are linking this online activity to face-to-face activities. Once COVID is over again, these face-to-face activities are organized by Water Europe, also presented yesterday. So Water Europe organizes Water Market Europe, business-to-business meetings, and we will facilitate these meetings with this online marketplace. And finally, yes, a key objective and challenge for any circular initiative is to connect to the other sectors, because we are establishing codependence between, for example, water and agriculture. And what can help in this connection is to invest in further digitalization of our processes, to look for symbiotic elements. And obviously, it's important that we share and learn from each other to communicate. So that's why I'm also quite happy to be in this interesting conference of Aqua Circular, to share our experience and to learn from your experience. So that was what I wanted to present as a brief introduction to our project NextGen. Please have a look for further information at our website, but also stay at this conference for the next two interesting presentations of the demo cases in Timisoara and Switzerland.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Frijns, thank you very much for your presentation. Now we open the question session. If there is any question, we remind you that you can ask question in writing on the chat menu or using the question button below the presentation screen. Also, you can address questions in English or Romanian. So we have a question, Mrs. Florica Manea, very ambitious project, congratulations. Which is your opinion in relation to wastewater reuse as drinking water?
Okay, thank you. Interesting question. Yeah, obviously, if you have sufficient good quality water, why would you then look for wastewater as a source of drinking water? But at the same time, we must be honest. In fact, we are already more or less doing this with de facto unplanned reuse of water. And for example, water is one overall circle. So if you use water, it's being treated, it's being discharged to the rivers, and from that river water, we make new drinking water. So in fact, we are already doing this. But I do understand if you would take, for example, the river out and you use effluent directly to produce drinking water, this has a different perspective, the so-called yuck factor you might know that people have. So it's important that we also explain the de facto reuse already being done, but also explain the reliability and safety of having advanced wastewater treatment combined with advanced drinking water production. Just to add to that, like countries where there's water scarcity, for example, in Spain, people are already quite used to this idea. Countries like the Netherlands, where we have quite a lot of rain as it is doing right now, the perspective of the people is quite different. And we we experienced by climate change last 3 summers, very drought periods also in the Netherlands, where we have problems with sufficient water quantities. So also in the Netherlands, we are starting looking for wastewater reuse, including options for drinking water production.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Let's see if you have another question. We have 2 minutes left. So appears to be no more questions.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jos Frijns, for your presence, and we invite you to watch the other information today. And I hope we will collaborate for the next event. Academica will arrange it.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Have a good day too. Bye-bye.